working. All right, it says I'm live. Let's check here. So this is I'm doing this through Google Hangouts, and it's the only the second time that I've used Google Hangouts to do this. So it took me a while today to find how to do it again, because it's weird. You have to do like, how on YouTube there's, when you stream, there is like Creator Studio Classic and then like the new Creator Studio.
Yeah.
I had to go on like the older YouTube version and able to find it. It was weird. All right, so it looks like we are live. Yay.
It's lit.
All right. Welcome, guys, to Weekend Warrior Podcast, Episode 3, New Players. I have got random guy Kevin on here. Kevin, say hi.
Hello. Hello.
I have got Laxsoft here as well. Lax, say hi.
Yo. I don't know if you guys heard me. Yo.
Yeah. We did hear you.
I have also got JC Juice on here as well. JC, say hi.
Sup, my dudes.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get right into questions here. I just realized I should probably pull up the chat so I can see people saying stuff.
Yeah, I think it says the chat is disabled. You gotta get up on that.
Do better.
It's not on? What? No.
Do better.
I'll fix it.
Yeah, I think you can fix it during the stream.
Yeah.
Some things it won't allow you to, but
yeah, I should be able to hear. I thought I had it on.
No, you don't want nobody talking to us. That's what you're saying. You guys airsoft this weekend?
next weekend I am for my
I
birthday.
did yesterday.
Yeah.
Woohoo! I have not.
Oh.
I think it's been. I think it's been like a week or two. All right, Miko. I guess can't do it from this computer. I'm gonna have to do it from here.
I mean, so you're airsofting for your birthday. Are you going to be drunk airsofting or sober airsofting?
I'm going to an indoor field.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so I don't want to get hurt because it's like a CQB. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh no.
So,
that looked so painful, Lax, when you posted that.
Oh, I mean, she wanted it. Like that's why I did it, because I didn't really want to do it, but like she really wanted for me to do it.
She now?
Yeah, she really wanted for me to do it. It's the weirdest thing.
Birthday, Magda.
Yeah,
No,
she's the one that came up with that idea. I'm like, "Are you sure?" And then I asked her like 7 other times. She's like, "Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure. If you don't do it, somebody else is gonna do it." And I'm like, "Okay, might as well do it."
No thanks. I'll be on the beach sipping something for my birthday. Rather do that than get magged up.
Yeah, she's insane. I can't believe she did that. Oh my god.
Was she a newer player, or she's been playing before?
I think she might be. I don't really know. I think she's played for like over a year. But yeah, I don't think she's like too like older or has played for a long time. I think she's pretty new, yeah.
Yeah, I've only been playing for just over a year.
What year is this? 2019. I've been playing 2 years now. Yeah,
Damn,
2 years.
Playing for 6 years or 7 years. I don't know how long it's been.
Hey, still more than me. I've only been playing for almost 3 years.
Whew.
Well, got me beat.
I mean, what was your first gun?
My first gun?
First gun. Everybody's first gun.
Oh my god, what's the company? Oh my god, I don't remember the company.
I literally can grab my first gun right off the shelf.
Me too.
It was an AK-74, but I don't remember what brand.
LCT?
Oops.
No.
Just dropped a bunch of stuff.
Let's see.
This is mine, a warlord.
I mean, the Warlord isn't bad.
No, she fell apart a couple times, but I put her back together. But
Somehow.
yeah, like there's like the mag release fell off and the pin came out, and I had to just like use a paper clip to keep the mag release in there. But yeah, she's good. She's just, I realized what my type is, and it's not like long DMRs, like the short little ones, CQB guns.
Oh, it was the JG electric blowback, AKS. Yeah, long time ago. Nice gun, hits really hard.
my first gun that I purchased was a Crytek MK2 CRB.
Oh, that's a nice gun.
Yeah,
ooh, that's a really nice gun.
Yeah, and I still have it.
Yeah.
And I got it off of like doing research for a while, and I didn't play with. I used a rental gun for like at least like 3-4 months before I actually purchased a gun. Because
I bet you that's still working too.
Yeah, it is.
Unless you broke it.
It is.
I was gonna say it's a Crytek.
Yeah.
Probably ain't broken.
I haven't done any upgrades to it, so it's still stock. Yeah, that's.
Man, you guys start with nice guns.
I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to.
Mine was an AK-47. I did a paint job on it too. That looks horrible. But it is, just to give you an idea. So now I use a 416 that takes two. Oh, I can lift it with one hand, but not comfortably. It's a really heavy full metal gun. My AK-47 I can lift with my finger. It's that light. It's like a Walmart gun.
I mean, not nice, but
God. Then the second gun that I got, I think after like 4 or 5 months of use, the piston exploded in it.
Oof.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it wasn't like an off-brand thing too.
I mean, I still like using rentals sometimes. I use rentals.
They're not that bad. Like they're decent. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll use a rental, put on one of those rental masks, put my hoodie on, and play.
That's so fun.
It is. Like, especially when it's like, I mean, every weekend, you don't want to go out there and feel like you have to record something every weekend you go out, and then you get tired of airsoft, you hate playing airsoft. So sometimes I just go out there, don't put my camera on, grab a rental, don't put any gear on, and just go out there and just play, have fun. Remember why I got into it.
Yeah, I played this past, not this weekend, but the weekend before without any cameras. Had a blast.
It's so
Plus, you don't have to worry about them falling off or something stupid happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so refreshing. But sometimes people think like, oh, I'm on camera now. Now I got to play better.
Or they want attention or do stupid stuff just to be on camera. And I'm like,
now I'm going to follow you because you got camera and I know you're a YouTuber.
Wow, does that really happen to you guys? Like, does that really happen to you guys?
Yeah, like I literally have people follow me around just so they can be in my videos.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I haven't had that happen, but I have a lot of people asking me if I'm a YouTuber.
I mean, that's whenever you have a camera, they ask that, but like some people that like if they know who you are and whatnot, they'll be like, oh, I want to be in your videos. I'm gonna follow you around. You look like you know what you're doing. It's like, no, I'm just here to have fun. Just want to shoot people.
I've had it happen where I had a group of little kids following me, and they're following me, and I'm like, I didn't know how to break it to them that I came into the game late and I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, they're following me, and I was just like, inside, like I don't know what I'm doing.
I mean,
I had to lead a group of little kids around.
I mean, I think that's the best part of airsoft when like newer players come in, rentals or whatever, they come in and they're sitting there following you because you look like you know what you're doing, but you have no idea what you're doing. So you're just like, follow me. We're just gonna go shoot people. Let's hope for the best.
And make it look like we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I told them to do stuff and they did it, and I was like, yeah.
I mean, but that's sometimes their first experience. That's what they need. Like they need somebody to kind of encourage them to come and play instead of getting magged up.
Yes, I agree 100%. I agree 100% with that statement.
Yeah.
Like, and people feel comfortable with like being like, oh yeah, we're gonna team up against these rentals and get some good footage. Like, nah, switch teams, separate yourself, go on their team, and I bet you the quality of footage it'll be a lot more, a lot better, and their experience will be a lot better too because they're following you or like they have the confidence to push out of spawn because they hang around that little spawn
Yeah,
area.
they stay by spawn because they're too
That's the
scared.
worst. That's the worst thing ever. That's such a big issue in my field. Such a big
Yeah.
issue.
I mean, you play Miami Airsoft, and you said it's a smaller field, right?
It's a really small field, yeah.
I don't know why it doesn't seem like a smaller field to me. Whenever I see people post videos about it, I'm like, this seems like a
Because
very
there's a
big
lot.
field.
There's a lot of stuff in that small area, but like you can get from like one side to the other side in a really like small walk. Like it'll take you like less than 30 seconds. I mean, less than 20 seconds. You can get to the other side. It's that small.
Oh, oof.
Wow.
But there's so much in that. There's so much stuff in that small area that it feels like there's a lot to the field, but
Yeah.
there's really not. It's just a lot of stuff in a small space.
Gotcha.
So
Is
the
it
kids
just like
stay in the
a
back.
warehouse?
Yeah, it's a warehouse. Yeah.
That's what I thought from seeing videos or pictures from it.
So it's
Yeah,
like
they did a good
CQB
job.
then, right?
Yeah, it's like it's
Mhm.
super tight CQB, super tight CQB.
Oh my gosh.
my
I've only
God.
done CQB twice and it was the scariest thing.
I think it's dependent on the gun you bring too. Like with CQB, like I like running around with a pistol, but as of late, I've been using like an M4 or something smaller.
You know, light gun for sure.
yeah,
Like so
yeah.
you can always have it up, and that's like what I recommend always, because people are always asking me in my field like, what do you recommend? Like, what are tips that you can give me? And literally just have a light gun or a gun that you can always hold up because they're gonna turn around and you need your gun up before they have their gun up, and that's how you get them out.
Mhm.
So a light gun's just very preferable for that kind of like environment.
Yeah, with the tracer unit. Use a
Oh,
tracer
with the
unit.
tracer unit. Oh my God. You don't even have to aim down. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm the only one on my field that really uses a tracer unit. Whenever anybody sees tracer BBs shooting across the field, they're like, "Oh shit, that's Kevin. Let me go this way."
right.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
tracer units are the best.
But I thought you played in a CQB area, like,
Yeah, like my field that I play in is 30,000 square feet, and it's indoor CQB. But I still use tracer BBs. I play outdoors sometimes, more so milsims versus like regular open plays, but I still do open plays when I can. But I prefer the CQB environment. And my field, they change up the layout like every 3 months, and they change out like little bits of it. So
every 3 months. Wow.
yeah. So people don't get used to the field because once people find their little niche corner, they'll sit
Yeah.
there. They'll sit there forever.
Yep.
They'll
The
sit there
gameplay
forever
gets
to shoot.
boring.
Yes.
All right,
really
I
bad for
finally
you.
fixed live chat.
Yeah.
About
Took me a minute
time.
because I have a slow computer.
About
So we can
time.
go ahead and get into the questions.
Oops.
I'm gonna so starting with the first one. What is a new player? How do you define a new player?
How do we answer that? Like, do we go on like in a circle? Or...
Just I guess we'll start. I think listed here. Kevin, you're Kevin Lax, and then JC is listed here. So Kevin, you start.
A new player, I would consider a new player that's never played Airsoft before, has no idea what it is. That's kind of it. That's it for me. That's a new player.
All right, Lax. Then what's your take?
I guess my definition would be somebody who like doesn't have their own gear and goes out there and decides to try the sport like for the first time or like for the first few times until they have decided to commit to the sport, because that's just my opinion on a new player.
All right, JC.
Yeah, somebody that doesn't have their own gear or has gear but it doesn't all match and they don't know that, like multicam get everything the same, or like they don't know how to put on their gear properly, like their dump pouch. Like I remember doing that. I didn't know how to put a dump pouch on. Like just players that don't really know what's going on, like in their appearance and or how they're supposed to, like, I didn't know you could get a sling when I was new. I didn't know that was a thing. So when I found one, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Or like not knowing how to breach buildings, stuff like that. Like just inexperienced. That's what I would say.
So that'll lead me into it's this one's farther down the list, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now. At what point are you no longer considered a new player?
That's funny because I still consider myself a new player
Yeah.
because I know nothing. I know the bare minimum to get me by, and I mean I feel like I'm learning something every day. So it's like I feel like I'm still a new player, and I hear people say professional airsofters, and I laugh at that sometimes because it's just like, come on, you're always learning something. Like,
Hey, what does that mean, professional airsofter?
it means nothing. Just put it that way. It means nothing. Like I feel like okay, professional anything is like when you're getting paid to do something in the area that you're in. Like if you're getting paid to airsoft, in a sense I would maybe consider you a pro airsofter, but it's not. There's no leagues out there, so it's like at the same time it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like borderline, but yeah.
So wait, what was the question? Because I guess it's my turn.
So question is, at what point are you no longer considered a new player?
I think once you know the map, I think that's huge. Like, because I don't want to say recently, but I'd say I guess recent for like Miami Airsoft because they changed their fields like in like between long periods of time. Like the field stays the same and then it changes, but it takes them forever to do. So I think the last time they had changed it prior to this one was like 3 years ago. So it's just been there for a long time. But once they changed it, I didn't know the field at all. Like I was just trash. Like I'm getting like killed by just all these kids because I didn't know the field, right? And once I knew how the field was and where people like tended to go or whatever, then I felt like no longer like a new player. So I think you can become a new player again depending on the field. I think that's like it's really huge. I think so. It really depends on how well you know the field, in my opinion. That's when you no longer are a new player, I guess.
Yeah, I can bounce on your response. So, like Pay Me No Mind says, a new player can be someone new to the field. So, I feel like even though I've played at a few fields and I play at the field I play at now, and I've come to know it a bit, but I wouldn't say I'm not like I don't know it that well. So, I still feel as a new player, but then I'll go and play at another field and be completely lost. So I feel like if you're at your field, then you can be known as not be known as a new player anymore. But I feel like with every new field you go to, you don't have the experience you had before, but like you still have like the knowledge that you've learned from previous times. So I feel like after many years and you know what you've been doing for a long time, maybe, but each new field is a new experience.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, then. Let's go to question number 2. If someone wanted to get started playing airsoft, what's the best way to do so? What's the first thing that they should do?
I would first tell them to go to a field. Don't buy a gun. Just go to the field. See if they have rental. I mean, call them first, of course, and see if they have rental equipment that you can use. See if you even like airsoft. I tell people that all the time. See if you even like it, because there's times when people buy $300, $400 worth of gear, get on the field, and don't even like airsoft at all after their first experience. So go 2-3 times, get rental equipment, and see if you even like it. Just go out there and just have fun, ask questions, talk to people out there, and go from there.
So what I think is that before you even do that, I recommend you watch some YouTube videos, right? Because that's why we put the content
Yeah,
I mean, I was already assuming that they watched the videos, so then they went there.
Watch some of our content before, and then be like, okay, now I'm gonna go out and try it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people watch videos and they immediately go purchase things, just assuming they know things. So it's like,
It's misleading as hell sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
Yep. Just because somebody, some guy on YouTube says you should buy a Crytek doesn't mean you should.
So wild.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. I think
Mhm.
if you want to decide into getting into airsoft, I think you should just buy a couple springers and go in the backyard with some of your friends and do that. Done that a few times. It's a blast. So you can also learn whether it's for you or not that way,
Mhm.
and it's cheap.
Could definitely hit Walmart
Feel
and
the
get a
pain of the
cheap
BBs.
Springer.
Yeah.
All right, let's looking at the comments here. See if I find some that are. All right. One of the guys in the chat, Caleb, says springers are great. He's one of my friends. When I first took him airsofting, this was back when I had that crappy AK, and all I had extra was like 2 spring pistols. So I gave him one, and that day I think there was like 10 people on the field, and he absolutely wrecked everybody.
With the Springer. I mean, it be that way sometimes. It's all about skill too. Like it's never really about the gun sometimes. The gun can enhance your skill, but like it comes back down to skill.
Yep.
Just because you spend $600 on a gun doesn't mean you'll shoot better.
Yeah.
Yep. That was perfect because that'll lead me right into the next question. What qualities or skills should a new player need?
That's a good one. I mean, I feel like they should be able to communicate and just have confidence. Have confidence to just move out and know they're going to get shot. And if they lose, they lose. They win, they win. It's like not a big deal. You're just out here to have fun and be able to communicate with the people around you on your team. And as far as moving forward, going for objectives and things of that nature.
Honestly, I think you covered like everything that I was going to say. I mean, what else is there to say? Communication, like, have fun because it is a game. You're going out there to play a game.
Yeah.
And what was the last one you said? I apologize. What was the last one you said? It was communication, have fun, and then was it follow
Oh,
up?
confidence.
Have confidence. There it is.
Yeah, that's so big because you're gonna get shot. It's gonna hurt, and you're gonna go home, and you're gonna have like a bunch of little like things like I do here. Like it's horrible, but you get used to it, and then again, it's a game. So,
and that's you gotta remind people it's just a game, and then you see those tryhards that get so upset over like little things, and be like, oh, guys, we're playing with toy guns. Toy guns.
That is, yeah. I feel like they should also go in knowing that we want new players. Like, we're not going to continue unless we get new players. So they should come in knowing that anybody that's playing is going to be more than welcome to help them. And if they have any questions, they should just ask. Because I remember when I first played and I knew nothing, and I would just ask strangers, and they were so helpful, even though they didn't know. They knew I knew nothing. They would just help me a little bit here and there. So I feel like you shouldn't be afraid to ask if you don't know what's going on. Like, how would you know? Like, imagine you going to play and someone's like, okay, we're playing King of the Hill. Like, what if you don't know what that is? You're just like, what?
I'll follow somebody. We'll figure it out together.
Yeah.
Branching off what some of you guys said, I think attitude is a huge one. Like I said, that kind of goes along with what you guys were saying. But just going into the game, realizing it's a game, and just wanting to have fun, whether you win or lose. So like expecting to get shot, or hit, or not, either way, but still just having the right attitude, going in to have fun and not getting upset over little things.
Yeah, especially if you don't shoot somebody. I played a whole game and not shot somebody just because it didn't work out that way. Came in and I was getting lost, finally figured out what was going on, and then the game mode ended, and I'm like, oh, well, I learned this section of the field.
Gonna turn this into a montage of me walking around. Awesome.
I've done that. I got lost and walked on a railroad track. I made a whole video about it.
Terrible.
Oh my God.
I was just editing footage earlier today of the last time I played, and I finally got my scope cam to work that day. So all my footage from that video, the full edited video, I got 1 kill. So there's tons of footage of me, of my scope cam, shooting at people, but I got 1 kill.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
always
Was it the
fun.
video you posted like with the scope cam on
What?
Instagram? Was it the video you posted with the scope cam on Instagram?
Yes.
Oh, that was really nice.
That was no, that so I got my scope cam to work a little bit at the last event that I went to, Pandora's Box, and I already
Okay.
posted a video from that.
Okay.
But I didn't get the scope cam to work much there. I got it to work like all day at the last game that I was at. That's the footage I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
I mean, normally stuff like that, that's enough for like an Instagram snippet. Let me post this on Instagram so everybody can see me play. I
Or
play
you make
Airsoft.
a funny compilation video out of the day.
Yeah. you can do
Be
that
like,
too.
oh, and I got a kill.
Just that one.
All right.
Yeah.
I've got a question in chat here from Pay Me No Mind. How do you motivate or encourage new players?
A lot of times, whatever gun I'm running, I let them run that, and I let them use the tracer unit, with tracer BBs. Because once people see tracer BBs, they're just like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing!" And I'll sit there. A lot of times, I'll sit there and record them. Like I'll have my other camera, my vlogging camera, and sometimes I'll record them and take a couple pictures of them and send it over to them. Because like the moment you see yourself on camera or like a picture of yourself playing airsoft, you're just like, I'm badass. Like I can do this. So it's like I like my event, Airsofting with Friends, when I get a lot of new players to come out and I'm sitting there. People don't understand. I sit there and take a bunch of videos and a bunch of pictures because at the end of the day, when people see those pictures and they see themselves on video, they're just like, I definitely want to come back. Look how badass I look with that gun. Like I'm gonna share it with my friends and things like that. So I mean, that's one way to motivate some people. No, that's one way I motivate people.
All right, so I've actually like done like I think 2 videos on this where people just kind of just sit and like do nothing during the middle of the game, and I feel like it's because they're not motivated. So people have told me, and this is something that I've done prior, but they also told me, like my people who like comment, they told me like what I should do is I should just tell them like, come with me, get into the game, because if not, you're gonna like pay your entrance fee or pay your rental fees, and you're not gonna do anything, and it's gonna make like the game worse for everybody who doesn't get to see you and like everybody who you don't get to see at the field. So I think honestly that might be the best way. I mean, at least if you're already at the field, like to motivate people to play. Or yeah, to encourage new players to get into the game. I think that's honestly the best way.
Yeah, I actually had an answer that was kind of similar to that. At my field, if, there's always that one superior team sometimes where one team is dominating the other, and it's like frustrating, but I have the mindset that even if I'm playing against the team, like, the boss team, I think, well, even if there's more players on that team, I think, well, that's more people for me to shoot. And I'm not going to be butthurt because that also just tests your skill too. Like if you can handle yourself. So when people are at spawn and they're like wanting to give up, I'm like, well, I usually am like, well, I'm going to still go play and have fun. And they usually, because I'm a girl, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to do it too. And I'm like, yeah, you are. So that's how, that's kind of how I get people to play, because I'm not going to not play. Like I usually have to drive almost 2 hours to my field every time I go and play.
Oh,
so yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
going to not play when I get there.
No, I feel you on that.
Got to make it worth the trip.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Let's jump to the next one I have listed here. What is the best rifle setup as far as accessories go for a new player?
Rifle accessories.
Get yourself a red dot. If you got money for a tracer unit, get a tracer unit. I'm gonna say tracer unit all the time.
Tracer unit.
I mean, if you have a tracer unit, you don't necessarily need a red dot, but maybe a foregrip if you need one. But that's pretty much it I can think of. But definitely a tracer unit.
So I agree with what he said. Tracer unit, especially for indoor fields, like or night games or whatever. Like, if you can see the BBs coming out of your gun, it's so amazing, and like you don't have to rely like on your aiming so much because you can kind of just aim in like the direction of like where your BBs are going, and you can adjust really quickly. So I mean, for me, it's actually kind of bad that I run a tracer because I've noticed that I'm actually like kind of bad when I don't run it. Like I've actually relied too much on it. So once you hop on that tracer, game, it's kind of hard to get off. Like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I actually don't have a tracer unit,
You're
but
not cool enough.
I know.
No.
My bad. I've played with a few of them, and they are really cool. But what I usually always have on my gun is I have like a red dot or my reflex, and I actually think a red dot's good to play with because like the battery dies throughout the day, but I actually became like started following the BB as the red dot would start to like die. I would like try to figure out how the BB went, and that's actually how I learned that I can play without a sight, is following the BB, by learning when the dot was hardly visible, especially when in certain areas you can't really see, because I play outside, you can't really see that light. So it's good to learn how to play even without a sight. And then I always have a grip. And then, like I said before, like my sling is God. Like those guns are heavy for me and I don't want to carry them all the time. So a sling is always great. That's what I recommend.
Yeah, I would agree with I'd say get a sling. Um, I don't want to have to carry my gun around. I run HPA, so I have to, in order for me to like use my pistol, I have to disconnect my line, then disconnect my sling, and then set it to the side, which is the only disadvantage I can see to a sling.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'd say they're super important. It's nice being able to like just drop the rifle if you need it.
Yeah.
I had something to bounce off that, and I forget what it was. Perfect. I like the idea as a new player of not running sights. I've recommended to a fair amount of people when they ask about starting or just gun to get or whatever, and I typically tell them don't get a sight. That way they can get an idea of where their BBs are going to go, so they're not relying on a sight that, especially for new players that have never shot a gun before and don't know how sights work. So they slap a sight on there and expect that dot to be lined up with where their BBs are going.
Yeah.
They don't know how to sight it in. So starting out with no sights, I think, is the best way to go. But I think personally, accessories are just all preference.
Yeah.
Whatever's more comfortable for you.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I've played, the first time I even started learning where the BBs went was because I forgot my sight at home, and that was like a day of me being terrified, me thinking I was going to do horrible. But then by the end of the day, I was so much more confident in my ability because now I knew my gun better than before. So I do agree, like playing without a sight, and a lot of the rental guns don't even have sights, and they I've played with them and they seem fine.
Yeah. Rental guns a boss.
They really can be.
All right, there it is. So I got a question in the chat here from Top Shots 11. What's everyone's favorite memory from your time playing Airsoft?
As at Operation Lion Claws at a Milson playing at a military base, and like we're rushing the building. I have video of this. It's the funniest thing. And I'm trying to toss a grenade into the building in the window. So I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, I got this. Boom. And it hits the top of the window and comes right back down to me. And I run off. And I'm like, shit, damn, let me try it again. I toss in the second one, it goes in. And I was like, I didn't hear somebody call hit, so I'm gonna toss in a third one. I toss the third one, it bounces off the window, comes right back down. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. I'm not wasting any of my grenades. I'm done. But I think that was one of my most memorable moments as far as grenade throws go.
I feel like the most memorable ones are the ones where you either fail dramatically or something funny happens. Those are like the good ones.
Always.
Or you do something epic. But I mean, how likely is that? How likely is that on camera?
Yeah, that's not happening when you're on camera.
So my most what is it? My favorite memory from your time playing Airsoft?
Yeah.
It's difficult because there's so many good moments. I guess I'd have to say when I dropped like I think it was like a 24 kill streak at Miami Airsoft, which is kind of difficult because it's such a small field. And I don't know how I did it either. The kids would just keep coming the same way, and I just keep shooting them. And somehow I dropped 24 kills. Like
So you were
like
camping.
before a death, like all together. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is sick.
Yeah, just dropped 24 somehow, and like they only give you like 8 minutes to drop like as many kills as possible. So for me to drop 24, that was like wow, it's a new record. Like
Yeah.
So you were camping. That's what you're saying.
No, it's actually kind of like.
I mean, you find your spot and people keep running past you. Hey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like once you know the field and you know like where they're not gonna get you, and this spot, like this specific spot where I probably dropped most of the kills, it's like a spot that like now other people use, and I'm just like, damn, like it's a shame.
It's pretty good. Probably one of the most memorable things I've done in Airsoft was we were playing Pilot Down, and I was one of the pilots, and I was given a pistol. I actually didn't own a pistol at the time. I was given a pistol to use from one of my friends, so I hid in the woods, and then they killed me, but I was being like stubborn and was like, I ain't walking, I'm dead. So I made them carry me on their shoulders to their spawn. And when they were getting close to their spawn, obviously the enemies were coming, and the guy that was carrying me crouched. And when he crouched, I was reaching in his dump pouch and his knife was in it. So there was a bunch of kids by me, and I took his knife out and I cut 2 kids, and then the guy that was carrying me realized I had his knife and he yeeted me off. And then another kid came at me and I whipped the knife at him and killed that kid, and then I got restrained on the ground. It was so funny. I was dying.
Those HVT games, it's like if you ever make me the HVT, make sure you check me because I will have guns and knives everywhere. I don't care.
It was good.
Go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Man, I was trying to go through all the memories of playing Airsoft. Because I've played a ton in these 3 years. I guess one of my favorites was the time that I got captured. So I played as commander for a side. I played a Red Dawn game. And so that means there was USA, there was Russians, and there were Wolverines. So 3 different sides.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so sorry. Oh my
god! So I was the USA commander, which means I was working with the Wolverines commander for a while until we got betrayed. And they joined the Russians, and then they betrayed the Russians and joined us again. But during the game, me being the kind of person who wants to play more than command, I was playing, I got hit, and I walked back. I was almost to spawn when I hear guys, so the hill, our spawn was like in a ravine, so there's like a super steep hill going down, super muddy too. So I just gotten to the bottom of the hill, and I turn around to see like, I don't know, 5 or 6 Russian guys pretty much sliding down the hill. And I didn't even realize they were Russian until the first guy gets to me. And I'm kneeled down, I guess. He gets to me and puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, captured. And I just had one of those like, oh, crap moments. I think that was the intro to my video. And I was like, oh, great. So that was an interesting event, or an interesting moment, because the squad that captured me passed me on to a squad that had never played at that field before. So they walked me around the entirety of the camp before getting me to their spawn. They walked me through like 2 huge firefights. I think they almost got completely slaughtered by a squad of my own guys. but managed to come back and still get me back to the Russian spawn. So that was that was one of my favorite memories. And then I got captured a second time that day. This time in the final battle, where the Wolverines in the U.S. are working together, but 2 Wolverines decided they were going to go stray off from command, and they decided to capture me again. So that time I fought back. I got 1 kill, and then I just let them have their fun. I was like, all right, just take me with you. I don't care. I figured I'd let them have their fun, and I already had my fun for the day. That was probably one of my favorite memories from playing. Was getting captured twice in one game. I got a lot of crap for that. Got made fun of an incredible amount.
I mean,
right,
being captured is fun, but also it sucks telling somebody you were captured.
Yep. I was the only commander of the 3 too to be captured that day.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was fun though. And the best part is I recorded the whole thing. So I got to put that up and be like, look at me, I'm dumb, I got captured. All right, I got a really good question here from Ray. Sorry if I butchered your name, Gerlach. What's the biggest problem within the community that kills off new players?
Oh, that's Ray. I know who that is. What killed?
Or just keeps players from getting involved?
I mean, it's like we discussed before. I think it's the people that don't like encourage the new players to come out and actually have fun, and instead of teaming up and mag dumping them and ruining their fun. I think that's what causes the biggest issues. Just ruining. It's a bunch of new players, so you just want to grab footage and do what you need to do, and make sure you ruin their fun. As long as you're having fun, you don't care about them. But the whole purpose is just to make sure everybody has fun and can come back and play. But I think that's one of the biggest problems. Just people with going out there with the intent to ruin everyone's day and hurt people, because there's so many people that just go out there, and not to say anything bad about Polar Stars, but it's a lot of times it's geared to those specific people with dime-ass Polar Stars and just want to go out there and just like rack on people and just like finger bang everything and just dump into people. And it's just like, dude, come on, like you paid and now you want to get banned for hurting people. You're dumb. So that's my thought on that.
I agree with you 100%. Just toxic people like are the ones that ruin the sport for everyone. And I mean, I guess they come in all sorts of gear, I guess, like but I mean, I guess the people with the speed soft loadouts are like ones known for that, I guess, or the ones to get the bad reputation, I guess.
All right, JC, what's your take?
Yeah, well, I remember the first time I played, and it was at a field it was in Canada. I've never seen this field before, got on there, and I remember being shot. The first 2 shots I got was one right in the finger and one right in the forehead. And I would say pain is like, if you don't have the proper gear, which I wasn't wearing, pain is a huge thing when you're new and you're just out in the open all the time. Like I feel for like a younger kid, that hurts and you don't want to do it again. So I would always recommend like proper gear and like nice thick clothing compared to just wearing shorts. Because you see speed softers wearing shorts and t-shirts and stuff, and they're like, you're like, kids are like, oh, I can do that. But in reality, you're gonna get shot a lot and it's gonna hurt. And also, I also think cheaters are huge. Like, if you're playing and you're a kid and you get your first kill of the game and then somebody doesn't call it, it's like, that's also like, well, what the heck? Like, this isn't fair. I don't want to do that. So, like, always, like, I never cheat or do anything like that just because, like, some kid could be trying so hard to get that one shot that like you think might have been a ricochet because they're playing with their rental gun, and you still got to call it even if you think it could have been a bounce. Like I just feel for those kids because I was there. I know how it feels.
I would say, I think the biggest, one of the biggest things that pushes away new players, but also the biggest opportunity to bring in new players, was something mentioned before, was YouTubers or influencers, people that post stuff on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over social media. I think a lot of the reason I don't post cheater videos, I will not do so. The reason being, I think that those kind of videos can ruin opportunities for bringing in new players, because especially when you see some of the videos where it's just constantly cheaters all day. I think that can prevent new players from coming because they're like, well, I'm not going to get any kills because they're all just not going to call it. I think that can be one of the a big opportunity for us to bring in new players, but also can prevent people from joining the sport.
I mean, I would have to say that that's one of the reasons why I don't post cheater videos, because like that's not what my content's geared towards. But it's at the same time, it does bring those people, some of those people into the sport. But at the same time, it's like you see some people who post those videos constantly, and you see the fight compilations and the cheater videos where it's like some people where they go overboard, like, and it's just like you look at the comments and it's just like people like, yeah, this is why I would never get into airsoft, or this is why I stick to paintball, or this is why I come here for the videos, these type of videos. And like for certain content creators to stick to those specific videos, and then the minute they try to change and do something kind of like a wholesome type video of them doing gameplay, actual good gameplay, and like doing a montage or doing a vlog type thing, people are just like, yeah, can you go back to your cheater videos? Because I'd rather watch that instead of this.
Yep.
So now you created a niche for yourself. Now you only can post and create cheater videos. So that's it.
Yep.
But I mean, people do it. Sometimes people just do it for the views, but other people do it for educational purpose. Like, all right, this guy, he didn't call his hit. He might not have felt it. Let me try to shoot him 2 more times. Oh, he flinched and tried to run out the way. He definitely got shot this time. So it's kind of like some people post for learning, to teach people like, hey, just if you feel a ricochet, just call it. That's it. Keep it moving.
And I think they're a necessary part of the community. I think they do need to be posted. I just don't think that you should post like a 15-minute video and all of it's just a ton of people cheating, or just constantly posting videos of cheaters. I think that's more harmful to the community than good. But I think a cheater video just educating people is a good thing, a necessary thing to the community. Yeah, so that's all I got on that. I got another question from the comments. Invictus30 says, what's the hardest / most annoying part of airsoft?
I think it's not having fun. Like, if you go out and you don't have fun, I feel like that's the most annoying part, because the closest field to me is 30 minutes away, but I will never go to that field because it's terrible. So I drive an hour and a half to a better field, and I'll spend the entire day there. And for me, if I'm not having fun, then it's just like, I feel like that's the most annoying part of airsoft. If I can't just have fun, go out and escape the world by shooting people.
Yeah.
I think for me is like, since I'm always like, when I play, I'm always in like that YouTuber mindset. The most annoying thing would be like not getting footage that's like good for a video that week.
I feel it. Yeah.
That's honestly the most annoying thing.
And it's terrible to think that way, but like you can't help it.
I mean,
they used to not be that way for me.
Yeah, I tried not to go out and think about the content, because it's like the moment you start thinking about like, all right, I need to play and get this good content, that's when you get the worst content ever. Instead of when you do go out and you just like, all right, let me put my cameras on. It is what it is. And boom, you end up coming out with like amazing content sometimes instead of like forced content.
Yeah. My most annoying thing when I play airsoft is I play at an outdoor field that's huge, and I think the most annoying part is walking back to spawn. Dude, I spent 10 minutes walking back to spawn. It's so annoying. I get so mad when I die. I'm like, mother effer, now I gotta walk back. And then you walk back from spawn and you die right away and you're like, ugh, the worst.
Those are the worst of
so
the big games, man.
Yeah.
Especially when it's hot out. Ugh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When the weather's bad, you got to walk all the way back.
Yeah. And you can't find your friends and you're all alone. That's what I think is annoying.
Yeah, I feel yeah. As someone who mostly goes to events, the long walks back to spawn suck.
Mhm.
Especially when you've gotten super far. Oh.
I agree.
I think I actually expected everyone to say this. The most annoying part is just getting shot, man.
Oh, true.
I don't know how we didn't think. I think we're just all so used to it that
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore.
I've got to say, 3 years, I'm still not used to it. I still don't like it.
Headshots though, headshots and hand shots. I'm
Yeah.
playing.
Ooh, finger shots. Ooh,
Yeah.
right
Oh, hand shots are the worst.
They
Yeah.
never go away.
Yeah. I got shot in the nail. It cracked my nail. I was like, oh, damn.
Oh,
It's
In the
all
nail,
bloody.
ouch.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it's all bloody. All right, let me put a Band-Aid and keep playing. Now it's my trigger finger.
oh, yeah.
I think hands and the ears are the worst for me, which is why I always wear gloves and I always wear ear pro.
I don't wear ear pro, but I have hair that covers my ears, so
That works out.
I never had an ear shot that hurt that bad because my hair, like my hat and my hair, just protect them.
Lucky you.
Yeah, you guys should grow out some nice locks. You'll be good. That's my recommendation: airsoft and long locks.
My hair grows upward, not downward.
Oh,
So it doesn't work that
I
well
don't know
for me.
about that.
Huh.
I've been wearing mechanics gloves for a very long time,
Those are
but
great.
for a while, yeah, I love them. For a while, I switched to the Enola Gay Fug gloves. That looked cool, were super comfortable, felt great. Then I got shot in the hand, and I was like, nope. I took them off, and I haven't worn them since. They're nice gloves. They're just too thin for me.
I wear them outdoors.
I got shot in the finger and like in the palm, and I'm like, nope, going back to the mechanics.
I just wear those outdoors because it's comfortable out there. But indoors, I do wear the mechanics gloves.
Oh, you need
I
to.
think those are easily like the most popular. I see those all the time.
I've owned a pair. I have a new pair. I don't know what they're called for the life of me, but they have like a pig on them, and they're like for women, like that are really nice and tight, but they have padding on them. Those are really cool. But mechanics ones were the first ones I started.
I have heard of that brand, but I can't remember what it's
Yeah,
called either.
I don't know, but I've had them. They were like 30 or 40 bucks, but they're the best gloves I've had. But they make them in men's size, but I think they're like way too tight for some people. But they have like a nice padding on the knuckles, on your knuckles, and then like across your hand too. So it only sucks if you get shot and not the padding.
I saw a comment here that I think we can all relate to from Top Shots 11. He goes, or you forget to put a memory card in and you end up not recording the awesome stuff.
That happened last
Yeah.
weekend. I didn't bring my SD card.
That happened.
I didn't
Real
bring
shame.
my cameras. I drove almost 2 hours and forgot them. The worst.
I mean,
One of my worst was I went to a game at an abandoned prison, and that was the first weekend I ran a run cam. And after that weekend, I stopped for a long time. But at that time, I would I put the protective cover on the run cam while storing it, and I forgot to take that off. So I record, I don't know, a couple hours of black footage.
that sucks.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that always does.
You ever get
Since
to
then, I haven't used that cover.
you ever forget to actually put your GoPro on? Like you start the game, you think it's on, and you're having an amazing game, and then realize it's not on at all.
And then you start recording when you go to turn it off.
You're like, let me turn it off.
Yeah.
Oh, damn! It just started recording. That's crazy.
Everybody that records experience that at least.
It really sucks.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got in the comics here. We've been getting some good questions. let's see. Oh, SDK tactical pig gloves.
Yeah,
what they're
those
called?
are the ones. Those are the ones. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
mine's one of my friends. He knows what I got.
Okay, I like this one. This guy, Quentia Meme Star, says worst thing about playing is getting shot in the arm multiple times, then going to work looking like a heroin addict.
Yeah, that always
One of the
Little
guys on my
confidence.
old team works at a major high up position at a company, so he always wears full face pro because he doesn't want to go to work with
Yeah.
marks on his face. Be like running a meeting and be like, people be asking him what happened. All right, let's see what else we got here.
I mean, I prefer full face pro, but
yeah.
right now I'm working on a kind of like a minimalist kit, so I can throw in my suitcase and go somewhere because I'm going to LA at the end of August. So it's like I wore like a hat with ear pro and a mesh mask and like a chest rig, just so it's low profile, super low profile, and I could just grab it and go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I run almost every time. Is just mesh, baseball cap. We aren't really required to wear ear pro, so I've never worn it, and I've never had a problem with my ears.
Mm.
But and then I wear a chest rig. But I also only play outside. Like
Okay.
I play indoors sometimes. So like the lighter I can be, the better, because it's gonna be hot and sweaty and gonna be gross.
It just sucks though, like playing indoors with just a chest rig, because I got shot in my back the other day, and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I had my plate carrier. This hurts so much.
When I go to play indoor, I'm always wearing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Only when I'm outside do I take the face pro off because it's more comfortable.
Nah, I still can't do it. I saw somebody get shot in their teeth.
Yeah,
before.
I've watched that happen. I watched a kid with braces get shot in his teeth, and like his 2 teeth were gone with the wires still in there. I was like,
Oh,
yeah. I was
That's
like,
so
Mom is
expensive.
gonna kill you. I was like, why weren't you wearing face pro?
Nope. Mm-mm. No thanks.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'm not risking it. Nope. Not any day. Nope. I can't afford that.
Yeah, right.
That just sounds so painful.
Adulting, right?
So expensive too, dude. You know how much it costs to fix that?
Yeah.
bunch.
So I got a question here. One of the first ones actually in the chat. Top Shots 11 asked, "What's worse, a cheater or someone who intentionally tries to break someone else's stuff, like NVGs or cameras?" He also applauds Kevin.
I mean, cheaters are everywhere, but someone that intentionally goes out there to damages people's things, I think that's worse. I don't got time for people like that. Like, how do you come out with the intention to break people's stuff? And like, that's where you kind of get you kind of get like kicked in the face, like karate chopped in the throat, something. I don't know. I'm just saying.
A cheater, you can mumble under your breath and walk away, but like if somebody breaks something of yours, you're like, "That's my baby. Do you know how much money I spent on that? You will die."
Wow, an NVG, like, oh my god, that's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
Nope.
NVGs are expensive. Like, yo, you sit there and break somebody's NVGs, like,
Nope.
you're dying. You gotta die. Like, something painful needs to happen to you.
Yeah. Or like people that steal your stuff too, because you know when you go to play and you leave your stuff out,
Yeah.
like people that go there to steal stuff, that'd be terrible too. Like
What a shame.
like Lord, please don't let this happen to me. But like I've never had it happen, but that would be bad.
Yeah, I lock up all my stuff, so I don't know. No,
Yeah, I lock.
I can't do it.
Yeah. But every once in a while, you're like in a hurry to go play, and you maybe leave some things out that aren't that valuable, but like you wouldn't want them stolen.
Happens all the time to me. I just haven't lost anything yet, thank God. Oof, so dangerous.
I have last time, so I always bring my stuff in a Husky case, and I put 2 padlocks on it and keep the keys on me when I play.
Yep.
Last time I went out to play, I came back to reload because this game was a 4 mag limit, which is a little bit less than what I usually run. And I came back to reload, took my keys out, put it in the lock, and turned it, unlocked it. Then I couldn't get the key out. I've had the locks for so long, and it had been raining, so they rusted. And I had to get the camp to come out with a pair of bolt cutters to cut open the second lock. So I had to finish out the day with an unlocked case, which I did not like.
Yeah,
But
don't tell nobody about that.
yeah, I have to get new locks before I play again. But yeah, that sucked. All right, let's go with another question from comments here. Caleb Jackson asked, "What is your opinion on tactical laser tag? That in paintball, what do you think will take people, or do you think it will take people away from airsoft?"
Tactical laser tag. Is it? I mean, I don't think it will, because it's like, so you got to think about it. The business needs to survive, and if they can't just survive off of airsoft, they'll get creative. They'll do laser tag. They'll do Nerf battles. They'll do dodgeball. They'll do whatever they can to stay alive and survive. I mean, I don't care much for it. It has nothing to do with me because I play airsoft. But I mean, laser tag, yeah, is what it is.
Mhm.
I didn't even know there was like tactical laser tag.
I've never heard of
no idea. I thought it was just like a kid's game. Like, you just
I
go
mean,
out for, like,
it's laser tag, but it's more tactical in a
More
sense.
tactical.
It's more tactical in a sense.
you wear like
I mean,
a JPC.
Played outdoors too. Not
Yeah,
all the time, but
some
a
places
lot
they
of the
have
time.
it where you have a full kit, and like when you get shot, your gun turns off, or it acknowledges that you got hit, depending on how many lives you have.
Okay.
Certain places have that, or the basic kid game where two people have guns and they're shooting at each other. It's very dependent on where you go and how much money they're willing to spend on laser
And-
tag.
And less painful.
Yeah.
So is there anything really that makes it like tactical, like, or is it just like laser tag with like
They
more
just-
expensive gear?
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is.
That's it. Okay.
Yep.
Had never heard that. That's pretty interesting. Tactical laser tag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know what to say. I really don't. Kind of mind blown there.
Yeah, I played laser tag once. It was great. I loved it. I recommend it. But it's not the same. I like the realism of airsoft, like, how the guns look like real guns, and it's just like you can wear military gear. Like, it's just so much more fun when you're able to like suit up and play with the real stuff. Whereas like paintball, like that's cool, whatever, but the guns don't look really real. It's really painful. Sometimes they pop, sometimes they don't. Like, I like to stomp on paintballs and stuff, but I wouldn't want to get shot with one. I think it's really just a preference. Like, maybe younger kids would like to play laser tag because it's less painful, and moms would be okay with it. But I feel like if you really want to get into it, I think airsoft is never really gonna die. Like, I think it's the superior race in both of those in my head. I don't think I'd ever play paintball just because I'm a wimp and I don't want to get shot with a paintball.
It's too expensive for me.
Oh yeah, they are expensive.
Because typically fields require field paint. So instead of bringing, BBs that you got for cheap, now you have to pay, $50-$60 for a case of paintballs.
Nope.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm like, no thanks.
Nope.
So I got a comment on here regarding the last question we talked about. People stealing stuff. Iconics, a ref from Blast Camp, says, "I let a kid see my sniper the other day and didn't notice that he completely pulled the bolt right out of the receiver."
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean,
That's a lot of damage.
yeah, for real. That's kind of why I watch people when I hand them something. I expect it back the same way that I gave it to you, because people have intentions that aren't pure sometimes, and like people feel like, you're a YouTuber, you're an influencer, or whatnot. You get this stuff for free. No, I don't. I pay for I pay for this stuff. Like some of this stuff I have to send back. I can't just, it broke. They're gonna be okay with it. No, like, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. You really can't do that. You got to treat them like, like if it was yours and that you were
Yeah.
gonna take care of it, because that's that person's gun and like they paid for it, of course. Like, can't be doing that. Nope.
I've never had anybody break my stuff, but I've broke my own stuff being stupid. So I mean, I don't usually hand my stuff off to people I don't know completely, but if a younger kid asks, can I hold it or look at it? I don't think this little kid's gonna be little devil, spawn of Satan, gonna break my stuff. So I'm not gonna walk away, but I'm gonna watch them while they play with it.
It's a really bad experience. I had some kid, like when I used to be into skateboarding, I had some kid break my skateboard like right in front of me, and I was like, I was just crushed, like just destroyed. Like that's my whole life. What am I gonna do now?
Soft part broken. So I got an interesting one here from Invictus 30. If Australia lifts the ban on airsoft, would any of you travel to Australia to play?
Yes, because I personally like to travel. I travel. I mean, people think all I do is airsoft. No, I have a day job. I like to eat and travel. I follow food pages on Instagram. It's terrible.
Dude, I live off of
ramen. It's terrible. So yeah, next year I'm supposed to be going to the UK for some airsoft. We'll see how that goes. And I'm also supposed to be going to Japan. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh wow, that's super interesting. You travel for airsoft, or you just travel like to travel?
Oh no, I travel just to travel. Nah, I need the passport. I need the stamps on my passport.
Oh.
I mean, but if airsoft happens while I'm there, it is what it is.
I guess I'd do it like I'd travel to Australia's pretty far, but like I'd go like for airsoft if I knew like I was wanted there. Like recently I got an email from a guy that does gel soft or gel ball in Australia, and he told me to like promote his sport, because like his sport, I guess, is like it kind of stays in this country, because this country's like it doesn't have the airsoft privilege we have here. So he told me to like, maybe you have some Australian viewers that don't know, and promote it on your channel. That'd be like awesome. And I did, because it looks just like airsoft, and the guns look just like airsoft, and like the loadouts that they have, literally it's like an airsoft loadout. So I thought that was super cool. So I'd go. I mean, if they had airsoft, I'd so go, because I don't have a gel gun or whatever it is. Do not have one of those. I'd so go.
Yeah, I would totally go if like I had at least someone to go with me, or like I knew people there. Like actually Invictus 30 is one of my friends too. So like if he invited me there and I had the spare money and we wanted to go play airsoft, I'd be all down for it if I had a place to stay and like wasn't afraid to die. Yeah, no, I would love, especially I love their accents. I want to be all about that. I want to see a kangaroo. What the heck? Yeah.
Yeah, I think if if I had the money to go, I would love to. I think that would be really cool. I'd love to go to Australia and play, even just to go and play gel ball, because I did see I saw your video on that, Lax, and I thought that was really cool.
It looks just like airsoft.
It does.
It's literally just like airsoft.
I'm curious as to how painful it is compared to airsoft.
They said it wasn't painful. Like it was much less painful. Like, yeah, that they had a gun that shot 1,000 FPS, and that it didn't. I mean, that was painful, but like their guns that shoot like 350 FPS, they don't do damage at all.
So it's not BBs they're shooting out.
They're shooting like Orbeez.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
Orbeez.
Yeah.
Literally what they told me, Orbeez.
Rhett, no. Sorry, my dog's having an attitude. Sorry. Rhett, shut up.
He's so upset. Like, I want to go outside. Now that's so it's not, they're not shooting BBs, they're shooting Orbeez. And it's like they're using kind of like regular airsoft guns.
Yeah. but I don't think they have hop-ups. I don't really know. I don't know. I have no idea. But they
Okay.
only shoot like, I think they only shoot like 60 feet in range,
Okay.
and that's about it. Yeah.
Must be a big thing out there then.
I don't know. I mean, they
Okay.
asked me for like my help, and that's crazy because I live here, like, you know, in the United States, and for them to ask me for my help to
Yeah.
like spread their sport, that's kind of like, wow, I must be really unknown.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 questions here. Let me find the first one that I want to ask. Where is it? Oh, there we go. What's the biggest misconception of being a sponsored player?
That's funny. I was actually going to probably do a video on this, but like, people don't understand being sponsored, being a brand ambassador, affiliate, that requires work. Nothing is free. People send you stuff. They expect something in return. They may not say they expect something in return, but they expect something in return as far as you dropping gameplay footage, you taking pictures with their equipment, gun, or whatnot, and you don't get everything that you ask for or everything that's released. It's cool to be in the industry, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of like a second job in a sense sometimes, depending on who you're working with. Like, I'm working with a bunch of companies, and I always ask them, hey, what do you want me to push today? Or what are you working on this week? What guns do you have? Things like that. And it's just sometimes, a lot of times I don't keep that stuff. Sometimes I have to send it back. I'll do my review, I'll do my gameplay, send it back. Other times they'll be like, okay, you can keep it. And I'll be like, I don't got space for it. So I'm probably just going to do a giveaway. I don't know. But I mean, if you're going into Airsoft with the intention of, hey, I want to get sponsored and get free stuff, and that's all you think about, don't do it, because it's like, it comes with a lot of stuff behind it, if depending on who you work with, and it's nothing in this world is free.
So yeah, I think honestly, in my experience, the biggest misconception is that you get free stuff, and I haven't really gotten free stuff. I think I've gotten like, and it wasn't even from sponsorships. Like, I've gotten free stuff from like companies that have given me stuff like to review and make videos on, but from sponsorships, I haven't really gotten like anything like that I've kept for myself, like an actual product. So I think that's probably the biggest, like for me, in my experience, the biggest misconception about being sponsored, that you get free stuff, which I haven't, at least yet.
Yeah, I've been sent some things through some companies, and the hard thing is with like a schedule, and you have your real life going on, and then they expect it to be released this day, and you have to stay up all night editing videos, and it's super stressful, and you have to make a whole video just based off of this item that they sent you, which maybe you don't even like, it works well and it's like okay, but then you never use it again because it's something you didn't even really need. It's kind of stressful. It's like they expect it to be done, but you also get in tighter with them and they trust you after that. But it's a lot of stress and a lot on your plate to deal with too. Like, I have to work on a video this week about that kind of stuff, and you don't even get to post your own content like you playing Airsoft because you gotta wait next week to do it. So it's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But free stuff, right?
Speaking of reviews, though, Kevin, I really like your 2-minute reviews where you'll do, or your reviews in general, where you'll show a review of the gun, but you'll show gameplay along with it. I don't see too much of that on YouTube. I see mostly like a full review. It's changing, but I used to see like just people sitting at a table with the product and reviewing it. I'm starting to see more gameplay along with that now.
With me, the only way I can do a review is if I play with the gun or have actually used the equipment and give my honest feedback. And I tell all these companies, I'm like, I'm giving you honest feedback. If it sucks, I'm telling people it sucks. But I will recommend something better. But my 2-minute reviews, I think people's attention span, a lot of people don't want to sit there and watch a 15-minute review of you taking out a gun from a box and saying, oh, this is a nice fixing box. The gun fit in it. Look at the foam. The foam is amazing. Look at this paper. This paper came with it. I'm like, guys, I don't care. Let's fast forward to the quick part. Should I buy it or not? Like, that's normally what it is, what it comes down to. And I tell people, like, if you want to go watch somebody's technical video on it, I'm giving you the bullet points on what this gun was shooting at, how much it costs, where you can get it at, if I would recommend it for you, depending on indoor, outdoor, things of that nature. And then I'll probably have like 3 or 4 videos of me playing with the gun so you can actually see it in action. So, I mean, that's just me. I really can't do like anything more than 2 minutes. It's just my attention span. I'll be like, I don't care anymore. I lose focus.
So that'll kind of lead me into the second question I wanted to pair with this. How long do each of you take to edit your videos, and what software do you use? And how do you avoid creative burnout?
It depends. So like sometimes, like this weekend, I went and played for about 8 hours. A lot of that footage, I'll piece it together, which will probably take me an hour or 2. And then maybe later on in the week, I'll sit there and edit it. Normally takes me like an hour or 2 to edit. But the hardest part is finding the right music. So that may take me forever. But once I find the right music to put in the background and whatnot, then it takes me an hour or 2. And I use Power Director 16. It lets me do multi-camera setups because I use a shoulder cam and I use a head cam when I play indoor. And when I'm outdoor, I use a shoulder, head cam, and scope cam and all that other stuff. But I don't get, if I feel like I'm gonna get burnt out, I take a step back and just take a break and then come back later, because that's when all your creative juices go away. You'll be like, yeah, I don't care too much for this. I'm gonna sit down.
Could you repeat the question one more time?
That's okay. I wanted to repeat it too.
How long do each of you take to edit your video? What software do you use? And how do you avoid creative burnout?
All right. So the software I use is Sony Vegas Pro 15, because that's the first software I learned. But if you want to learn a software, I recommend that what is it? You learn what's the software? You learn Adobe Premiere or Adobe Premiere Pro.
That's what I use.
For the burnout part, I don't really get that. Like, I really don't get that, and that's because I do like 1 video a week. So before last year, at the end of last year, I started doing like 3 videos a week.
Yeah.
And
nope, couldn't be me.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's way too many.
I mean, the thing is, I didn't get burnt out. I just like the video quality just dropped, and I was like, no, this is not good, right? So I think, I mean, at that point, I hadn't hit the burnout part yet. Like, I hadn't just burnt out, because I only did it for like, I'd say like 2 months, and then I just kind of stopped because of some like real life stuff happening. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't say I've experienced that yet. Could you repeat again just the first part?
The first part. You covered all but the first part.
Okay,
the first part was, how long do you take to edit your video?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Oh my God, it takes me like 8 hours to make a video. Because the way I start my videos is I start like cutting them up first. And once I'm done cutting them up, I put like a bunch of markers like as to where I'm gonna add stuff later. And then this is where the really the really long amount of time comes in, because at that point I just either like do very simple stuff, or I decide to take a really long time like really editing and adding sound effects and just all that stuff. And that's where like I can come up with like 5 hours and just doing that, or more, like 4 what is it, like 6 hours just doing that. So yeah. Wow, that was long.
Yeah, you mentioned Adobe. That's what I use. You do have to pay for it, so that's the downside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I've heard of the other one that you're using. I actually know of people that use that software, and I hear it's really good and it's pretty cheap. Like you buy it one time and you use it for
Forever, yeah.
forever. Yeah. But I use Adobe. It takes me anywhere between 8+ hours to make a video because I like to do a lot of stuff. Whoop, that went my there.
Oof,
That
I'm
was my
not the only
controller.
one. Woof, thank God.
I like to do a lot of stuff for my videos. I get bored of just the same stuff. So I actually like to animate. So my hit marker is I'm JC Juice. So my hit marker is a juice, like a juice drop hitting the screen. So that's how I keep myself motivated, is always adding new stuff to my to the videos and doing weird stuff. Like my unboxings, I have my dog there the whole time and it always makes it fun. And then editing it is always fun. Like when those weird tiny little things that happen in the background that you never notice, like when some guy looks into your camera, like those get me. That always makes it fun. And then you can always meme it up and stuff. Like there is sometimes when you have that footage that really nothing happened and you're just trying to make something out of it. Those are the worst to do. And
Yeah,
that's when that's when I get burnt out. Like you don't even know
Yeah.
what to do. You're like, this is trash.
Yeah.
But what I recommend is watching, like editing a video and then just hanging out with your friends and having them recommend you add stuff to the video because it makes it more fun. Like that's what I do. I have my friends will hang out and I'll stream and they'll tell me to add stuff and that just makes it more fun for me.
Huh.
But yeah.
So it usually takes me. I have a routine. I'm a very routine person. I like to have things. I do certain things a certain way at certain times. It's just how I do it. I spend. So I'll get all of my footage put on my hard drive on Sunday nights after I play. I spend Monday at least watching all the footage, and I'll sort it between good footage that I can use and footage that is like me standing talking to somebody for a half an hour. I'll sort it between good and stuff I can't use. Then once I've got all the good footage, then I figure out what the video is going to be. And then sometimes I'll start editing on Mondays. Sometimes I won't. Depends on if I have time. But it'll typically, I don't know what the total hours would be, but I usually don't have it done until Thursday. But I have a lot going throughout the week. So it's usually maybe a couple hours a day that I get to spend on it at the most. Even worse when I was in school this past semester. I had one night a week. And no, I forgot the second part. You're killing me, Lex.
What software?
Software. I also use Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah.
I got started on that from Airsoft Alphonse. He recommended that to me, and I've been using it since. I really like it. It's smooth. Don't have the greatest computer, but it still works really well for me.
That's like the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just
I've heard
sucks
a
that it's
lot
so
of people use it.
expensive.
Yeah, it's
like
it's
$50 a
annoying.
month, please.
Oh, really? I thought it was $30 a month.
That's if you only use one app. If you want more than one app, like they have Adobe Photoshop and then Adobe Pro, like for editing. If you want to use both of those, you got to pay $50.
Jesus.
Oof.
Yeah,
I just use the editor, so I only pay
it's more than my
22,
phone
I think.
bill. I use my phone every single day, every minute. Like, why is this one thing that I use a couple hours a day cost so much?
Wow, they're banking on you. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
Real.
They are. And then creative burnout. I guess I'll just stop doing it and come back to it later. If I get burnout on it one day, I'll just stop and come back to it the next. Or just, if I set aside a couple hours to edit, I'll stop and replace that with something I was going to do another day, and then spend the time the other day on editing. So I guess just doing it a different time is how I'll avoid getting burnt out.
So does that really happen to you though? Like, do you get burnt out?
Sometimes. I haven't had it happen much. Now that I've had since I think February, I've had a consistent weekly upload.
Okay.
So it's happened. I've gotten more burnt out on it more recently than I had in the past.
Because you're remaining
yeah,
consistent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So I have that mindset of Friday at noon is when I upload every week, except for podcasts. Podcasts are Sunday nights. So I have that mindset of I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to put a video out. One thing I will do to avoid creative burnout, I'll also do this if there's a period of time that I just can't play. I will have backups uploaded. So I'll get, I like to keep two videos that are edited, completely ready to go, uploaded, just not published. So if there's a week where I was supposed to play, but I don't get to, I have to have content out. So I'll just publish that one of those videos,
Man, I wish I was that ready, dude.
I mean-
I don't got no backup videos. I ain't posting that week.
I know I'm normally the same way. If like I'm sitting there and I have time, I'm gonna sit there and try to bang out as much content as I can and just have it sitting there so I don't have to do it later on.
Oh.
Yep. I would have also, because my current job is Monday through Friday, I kind of put my weekend aside. I will not do, I'll try to get as much done throughout the week as possible and spend my weekends relaxing kind of. So one thing, another way that I avoid creative burnout is Netflix. 'Cause I have two computers. I have my big laptop and I have a smaller one. And what I'll do is I'll play Netflix on my smaller computer. I'll have a show I'm watching, and I'll keep one earbud in and watch the show. I listen to it really, but I'll be editing on my big computer. And sometimes I'm frustrated at a part, so I can just pause my editing and just turn and watch Netflix for a little bit and then come back to it. I do that almost every time I edit, which has really helped me push and get a video done. It's also kept me very distracted. But that's a big thing that I've done actually to avoid getting burnt out.
I do that too, but I'm a weeb all the way. I watch anime.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with anime.
And I'll be editing and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to edit for an hour and then I get to watch an episode of anime. And I'm like doing it and then I'm like, yeah, anime. And I watch an episode.
Yep.
That's what I do to keep
I have
myself.
done that too.
I'm all about mangas though.
Manga, yeah, dude. I have like 3 apps on my phone. Totally. Yeah.
I'll do that too. I've been following the show Riverdale on Netflix when they released it on Netflix, and I had the last episode of the season to watch, but I had a video I was editing and needed to get it done. So I said, okay, I have to finish editing this video in order to watch the episode. And I finished editing and then got to relax and watch the finale. So yeah, kind of setting, goals like something, I can't do this. I can't watch this or do this until I finish editing. I've only done that once or twice, but I found that really helps. Like a reward,
Especially when you don't want to sit there, like it hurts your back when you're editing and you're just sitting there doing nothing else. So it's like motivation for you to do it. Because I don't like sitting in this chair because I stream and then I edit. So I'm in this chair all day long and I'm just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to go just lay on my bed. Get on my iPad, watch some anime.
My struggle is if I get in bed or lay on my bed, I'm out. I'm asleep.
Work does that.
I wake up at 4:00 in the morning for work.
Yeah,
so by the time I get home, I'm pretty tired. So if I even sit on my bed or just lay down for a minute, I fall asleep and I'll be out for at least an hour. So I can't do that. I have to keep myself awake. I have to stay at my desk, which can suck.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a question here from Matthew Robinson for me to answer. He goes, any idea what happened with Airsoft Republic? Their event at the Asylum looked fantastic and was looking forward to traveling there in the future. So I got to put out a video for them on this as well. But basically, so Airsoft Republic, for those of you on here that don't know who they are, they were a Midwest-based milsim company, founded by Austin Green, Levi, and there's Clayton, I think. So they were kind of, from at least what my opinion, they were like a step below American Milsim as far as game type. They did Milsim games, but they were a perfect place to go play before you went to American Milsim, because American Milsim held longer period of time games. So Airsoft Republic, they called it Silent Night. It was an overnight post-apocalyptic LARP game. It was held in a Renaissance fair in Iowa. It was really cool. It was so basically everyone at the start of the game, their storyline was, of course, one of those where it was two sides fighting each other set in the future. So this game kind of took them back to when that whole scenario started. So one group was herded into it was the fall of America. One group was herded into a refugee camp, and the other group just kind of or controlled it. So, and those were the sides. There was the NFA, the government basically, and the Rebellion Alliance or whatever. So the game was to set the scene, and it didn't go as planned. I think the problem with the event was their player base is force on force, because those are the kind of events they held. And the game at around, it started at 10 p.m. and it was supposed to end at 6 a.m. and it ended at 3:30. And the reason for that is I think the players that they attracted weren't the right type. They got bored and started, it just turned into a firefight. Like 90% of the people left the field before the game ended, which really sucked. I enjoyed the game. I think there were a couple things to change, but overall their planning was good. They just didn't have the right player base. So when Austin formed the company, he and his guys made a deal. They said when they lost the passion for creating events, they would no longer create them. So after Silent Night, I think they kind of lost that passion. They were no longer enjoying putting on events, so they decided that was it. They canceled the event they had planned after that inside a abandoned Air Force base, actually. And that was the end of Airsoft Republic. That's the story that as soon as I heard that they were ending, I saw their social media start to disappear. I reached out to Austin and got that. That's the information I got from him. So, Matthew, to answer your question the long way, that's what happened with Airsoft Republic. Their silent games were really awesome. I got to go to 2 of them, and it is unfortunate that they ended, but I understand why, and I'm happy that Austin and Levi were able to move on and do other things that they were passionate about. So that's that question. Let's go. I've got a couple more here that we'll go through. Okay, here's a good one. How would you get new people involved in the community and out to the field to play?
Oh, that's the whole question?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already doing that with my event. My event is called Airsofting with Friends. So the whole purpose of it is to kind of create a safe haven for a lot of new players and experienced players to come out, have fun, have experienced players teach the newer players what's going on, what guns they're using, and gives a safe space for the newer players to ask questions, ask people if they can use their guns and things of that nature. And also they can win potential giveaway items from the different companies. I have about 7 of these planned right now. I have one in New Jersey in August, and then I'm going to be in Cali for another one at Project N1. So, I mean, I have those 2 coming up. I have E-Vike, Airsoft Megastore, Lancer Tactical, PTS, Code Red Headset, Amped Airsoft, High Power Airsoft. Couple different companies helping me out as far as providing me giveaway items. And it's something I started last year, I believe, because I felt like not enough people cared about the newer players and bringing them into the community. And something I learned is that a lot of these companies won't create new products and innovative products if the player base doesn't grow. So I'm trying to help the player base grow and get those new products that we want, and new guns and new gear and things like that. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
So the question was, how do you bring in new players, right?
Yep.
I think airsoft videos is the way to bring in new players. Like I've had people tell me like, thank you for making these videos that you make, because you know, you made me want to get into the sport. And people have like, yeah, they've really come into my comments and told me like those things several times. So I think that's, I mean, even though like I have a pretty small audience so far, you know, people like still tell me that stuff. So I think, you know, that's a way as to which you can bring players into the sport.
Yeah, I feel the same way when I make a video. Somebody says I would really love to play, or like even if they can't play, their mindset is I would love to play if I had the opportunity. Or like even I'll be saying I'm gonna go to this field and play, and they'll be like, if I go, will you say hi to me? And I'm like, obviously, like of course.
I'm a
Just
human being.
come up to me, say hi, like don't just take a picture and not say anything and say something later. I would have totally loved to hang out. Like that's how I actually know a lot of my airsoft friends, is they saw my videos or something like that, and then they came to the field and said, "Hey, I watch your videos." And I just wanted to say hi, and then we became friends, and I play with them. Like I'm on teams with some of those people now. Like they come play with me every single time. So like content, and then also just being friendly to new people anyway. Like I usually some people that I know don't have the gear like to play. Like some of my friends only have like pistols, or they don't really have stuff that I have spare things of and I don't even use. So I'll bring 2 spare guns almost every time I played, just in case one of my friends' guns doesn't work, or if mine doesn't work. And usually every time I end up giving it out to someone to play with, because I'm like, when am I going to use that? Like I love my combat machine, but when is the next time I'm actually going to use it over my Avalon? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, just being nice and making content that's more friendly. I feel like, not like you're mean and not approachable.
One of my favorite, you reminded me of one of my favorite quotes from Gabriel Iglesias, actually, that I just heard from him in one of his shows, was that I am the same person on stage as I am when I'm out doing stuff. He was inviting people to wanted us to, to meet him in person and come say hi to him when he's out. Because some people were like, I don't know if you want to be bothered. And he was just like, no, I'm the same person I am up here as I am out grocery shopping or whatever. He's like, so please come up to me and say hi. I'd love to meet you. That reminded me that I get a whole bunch of comments now saying all about Fluffy. That was something I really liked. Just being as influencers, being approachable, being willing to help out players. One thing that I do to try to get people involved, I am constantly, it's shameless self-advertisement, but I am constantly repping airsoft gear. Like I have an American Milsim shirt that I love wearing. I have an Oakley shirt that I love wearing. I like wearing, airsoft stuff out, t-shirts, hats, patches and stuff, and just kind of show off the sport. I've also got my little laptop here has a couple stickers on the back of it. One is my sponsor, Airsoft Station. One is a sticker with my Instagram profile on there. I've also got one from Pat Shops, and I think my own sticker on there, which is just a little bit, some of it's advertisement for me, but at the same time, they see that and they're interested, they look on my profile and they see pictures of me, in airsoft gear, and they're like, whoa, that looks really cool. And then they message me and they're like, hey, how do I get involved? So it's just, that's kind of a way for me, advertise myself a little bit, but also get people to see airsoft that have never even heard of it. That's I think it's one of the big ways. I try to help new players out on the field when I can, when I see people that aren't having fun. One of my favorite memories on the field was at that Red Dawn game. The game had ended, and I'm walking to get off the field, and this little kid comes up next to me, and he's super excited, super high energy, and he's like, "I got 3 kills." He just has all this energy. He's so excited that he got 3 kills in a row. That was the thing. I got a kill streak, and he was just super pumped about it. And I was like, "That's awesome, dude." I just kind of tried to encourage him and make him feel, good, and that he did a good thing, that he had a good time, which was really important. It's definitely one of my favorite memories of just that kid just so excited, like he just couldn't believe it. He got 3 kills in a row. It was awesome.
It's funny that you say that, because it's like, I know newer players that I play with, and they've watched my videos, and they're just like, when they shoot me, they're just like, "I shot random guy Kev. I shot random guy Kev." Yes. I'm like, "Yeah, you got it, dog. You got it." You give him a high five. Like, you shot me. It is what it is.
Yep. Oh,
I mean,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes that makes their moment. So it's like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna come back again. So
Yep.
Yeah, the same thing has happened to me. Like I had this smaller group called Black Marsh Brotherhood. They're like a team that they're not based like, in the same area I am, but like they come down to my field to play. And then I remember like I was just making a video like probably like over a year ago, and they shot me. Like I had I was like in a bad position, so I had a pretty bad angle on them. So they had a better angle on me, and they shot me. And then when they realized it was me, they're like, "Oh, I just got lax!" And they were so excited on film. Yeah. I was like, "Whoa, it's just me!" Like,
just a regular person here, airsofting. That's it.
Yeah.
So a comment in here reminded me of something interesting. Matt Robinson posted here. "I'll admit being a little nervous meeting JC for the first time, but as luck would have it, she approached me due to the pouch I was wearing." And then Micah Shields said something similar, that he traveled cross country to meet you, and it was worth it. That reminded me of the mall game that I went to, where I got to play alongside Airsoft Alphonse and Dutch the Hooligan. Now, I have been watching Dutch since I started playing. He's not the first person I found on YouTube, but I found him pretty fast. And it was really cool playing with him. He's one of my favorite person to watch on YouTube. I love his videos. So it was really cool meeting him, and he was such a down-to-earth person. He was really cool to play alongside. That was one of my cool moments. Just comments reminded me of that. He was just really cool and fun to play with. All right, let's do 2 more questions here. I've got one. What gun would you recommend for a new player?
I would recommend, for a new player, Lancer Tactical Pro line or a Gen 2. I know a lot of people from whenever ago, when the Gen 1s came out, everybody hated them, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not that old. I haven't airsofted that long. So, I mean, the Gen 2s and the Pro lines are amazing. If you're looking for a quick gun for under $200, they have one for $120. It's full polymer for the Gen 2s. And the Pro lines are about $150 to $180. And straight out the box, it does what you need it to do. Shoot people. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But if you're trying to save a buck, that's where you go. Especially, and it's quality. It's durable. It'll last you.
So since I do like CQB most, like for the most part, I'd recommend the ARP9. I think that gun's just like, for the price, I think it's a beautiful gun to have, and it's just so small, and for what I do, it's just perfect. So I recommend that gun. Yeah.
I would recommend a combat machine. I mean, you can literally just throw them in the dirt. Like I've tripped and fallen so many times. I have two of them. And neither one has ever broken. They're like really reliable. Parts are cheap, and like I always would recommend them just because I'm talking for what I have and what I've used. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
tell somebody to use something I've never used just because someone says it's good. I'm just gonna recommend what I have and what I play with. So I have two combat machines, and I'm a very clumsy person. I fall down hills, I trip and stumble, I drop my gun in the dirt, and like they're always still functioning after I pick them up. So I would recommend them to newer players, and they're not that expensive.
I would going off what you guys said. My recommendations would have been a G&G Combat Machine or a Lancer Tactical. I have an LT14C that I got back in February or January, and it's still working. Still working great. I don't use it as often because I have HPA as my primary, but I love Lancer Tactical and what they've been doing. The one that I have, the LT14C, is a $140 gun, and it runs really well. So I think that as far as budget goes, I think Lancer Tactical kind of holds has the crown or whatever. But G&G Combat Machines are also really reliable. I had a Firehawk that's taken apart now, but so I've used both brands, and I think they're both really reliable. So either one, Combat Machine or something from Lancer Tactical.
I have two Lancer Tacticals as well, and my first gun was a Lancer Tactical, and it worked really well. And I enjoyed it until like maybe, I don't know, 4 months ago when I got my Avalon. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
haven't touched it since.
it's a completely different monster right there.
Oh yeah, my world was opened up. I was like, what?
Yep. When I've got a 416 from VFC, one of the old models, and it's got a Gen 2 Inferno engine in it from Wolverine. And as soon as I got that, it was hard not to run. One time at one game, I put it down and used my Lancer Tactical just because I was tired and I didn't want to carry the tank on my back anymore. I stripped my gear, went down to a belt and like super low profile headgear, and ran like that. I was really comfortable. But I love Lancer Tactical. But HPA, I think Lax knows what I'm saying there.
Oh yeah.
I played with one once. It was very enjoyable, but I just feel like I have more fun with the battery. I feel like it's a low key kind of unfair with the HPA. It's too easy, I think.
It really can be. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the battery just gives it a little bit more like it makes it more difficult, I feel like, but I just enjoy it that way. Plus, I'm too little to be carrying a heavy tank on my back. I ain't doing that. It's too much.
Yeah, I think HPA can definitely make it a little unfair. I've got not a huge tank, but it's a decent size, and I've gone through 2 full events with it without having to refill it, which is something that I really like. Having a battery I don't have to charge overnight for the next day. That's the big advantage that I've loved.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, you still need the little battery, right? Like the little 250.
Yep. Yeah. Little 7.4 volt, the little rectangle.
I've burnt those already. I burned like 3 because I leave them in the gun like
I've gone through. I've gone through 3 of them myself.
A few lipos, I've done that too on accident.
What a shame.
Then I picked up. I need to get a small one of these, but I picked up a Titan battery. I've got a long stick. Stick. A long Titan 7.4 that I use in my Lancer Tactical, and I really love that. I need to get a smaller one of them for my 416. But I really like not having to recharge a battery overnight. It's great.
It really is.
Especially not knowing if it's gonna work or not. Hate that.
That can ruin your day, man.
Oh yeah, I bring like 3 batteries just in case one wants to be tarded that day. I'm like, what the heck?
Yep. Especially that one event I was talking about before, Red Dawn. That's always played in March, and it's always cold here in Illinois at that time, of course. And last year that I was at that game, I went through 3 batteries that died. And this past time, I went through 2 batteries that died. So it's kind of annoying, especially when you're buying them from the pop-up shop, and they're not fully charged, so you only go through a certain amount. And then you're like, well, it's dead. I got to buy another one because I want to keep playing. So that can be annoying. All right, so we'll do one last question here. Hold on, I had the question in my mind, but I want to pull it up. There we go. What 3 pieces of advice would you give to a new player?
Oof.
3 pieces of advice. I would say always have fun, have confidence, and be willing to talk to anybody on the field.
I'd say always keep your gun up. Like, I mean, because I play CQB, like, for the most part. Always keep your gun up. Just, I guess, get over the fact that you're gonna get hit, because that's probably what gets to most people, like most new players anyway. And yeah, just make sure you have fun. Like, it's a game. Just have fun. It's the most important part, I think.
You know?
I was gonna recommend that you always keep your gun up, because I remember not doing that. And when I started doing it, like, there was a significant difference on me dying first compared to the other dude. I also recommend kind of learning your field or your surrounding, and because, like, newer players, obviously it's harder to know who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. Like, it's hard. Like, even with tape on, you're still kind of confused. So, like, kind of taking that extra moment to, like, analyze the situation and, like, know what's going on and then advance from there. Because I even still get mixed up and will accidentally team kill somebody because they'll be facing us and I didn't take that extra moment to just check and I shot them. So, like, that's what I would recommend. I would have a third thing, but you guys kind of said stuff. And I wanted to say it.
I would say, number 1, don't buy a bunch of gear and a gun before you've played. That first thing is go talk to your local field first. A huge resource that I like is Airsoft C3. They've been pretty, at least in the Midwest, they've been really updated on fields. It's a good way to find fields to go to. So yeah, contacting your field and getting a rental. Don't buy for a bunch of guns and gear before you play, because then you waste all that money if you don't like it. Number 2 is attitude, I'd say. Go out there to have fun. Don't be afraid to get hit. Just go out there and make yourself have a good time. If you don't go in there with the right mindset, you won't have fun. I don't really have a third one. You guys pretty much covered it. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. We're hitting almost 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Longer than the last episode. All right. So thanks all you guys for watching. If you guys want to put in questions for the next video, you can leave them in the description or the comment below. I usually, a couple weeks before the next podcast, I'll release the topic on my Instagram. I'll have that in the description as well. You'll see my link tree. Go in there. It'll take you to my Instagram as well. So when I release the topic for the next episode, you guys can start sending me questions. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys, JC, Kev, and Lax, for joining me.
Sure thing.
I will see you guys in the next video. Stop streaming here.